Hey, welcome to the House of Fandom. I'm your host, Clark, on the check-in. In stereo surround, 4K. What is up? It is the House of Fandom. And I am joined by these two amazing co-hosts with the mostos all the way up from the frozen tundra. Let's kick it off with my man. What up, Spike? What's cooking, brother?
Nothing. That's why I'm freezing my nads off. It's like all of 4 degrees right now, man. It's really, really cold. But welcome, man. We bringing the heat today. We bringing the heat.
Absolutely, absolutely. Also, too, while we're at it, if you're, just coming in, welcome to the House of Fandom. We appreciate you guys. Check out, make sure our audio is crisp and clear. If you could do that for us, Spike, while we are headed over to, okay, listen, the Avengers have a Hulk. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a Tank. Ladies and gentlemen, all live from Detroit, it's Tank. What's up, brother?
What's up? What's going on? Just coming down from having about like 8 inches of snow, so that was fun to drive in.
So now you're dealing with all the crazy snow. It's gone nuts over there. How's it? I mean, like, how is it for you to be able to maneuver through all that crap?
Oh, it's trash. I mean, thankfully I got an SUV now, so it made it look, but yeah, no, it's trash and people don't know how to drive, so that makes it worse.
Yep,
going like 30 miles an hour on the highway.
I hear that. And then listen, you're from Minnesota over there, Spike. What do you have over there? What's going on over there in Minnesota?
First of all, I'm from Detroit.
Okay, my bad. But you live in.
I'm hiding out in Minnesota.
All right, so you're in witness protection. Okay.
Witness protection. In the snow. Nobody's looking for me.
Okay.
I have a checkered past. It's cold. That's what you want to see, man. That's all you need to know. It's cold. I'll give you an idea for everybody's out there. For the last 2.5 weeks, we have averaged like 12 to 15 degrees below zero. So
that's crazy, man. That's
below zero.
That's a lot of cold air, that's for sure.
Jesus,
well, listen. I'm fortunate that today in sunny Florida, we were a high of 86 degrees, a balmy 86 degrees. I mean, just perfect. So anyway, I'm not going to keep busting chops over here. So
the only thing I miss about not living in Florida.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Because we know you love to complain about the weather, that's for sure. If anybody's seen all the memes he has with weather stuff, you got to check it out on his Insta. Anyway, listen, we got a lot to talk about today. I'm super excited. I'm ready to talk business. We've got the Book of Boba Fett episodes 5 and 6. And also, we've got tons of fandom news. So without further ado, we have a little something we call fandom news in these parts, around these parts. So, Spike, what do you got in that fandom bag for us?
Absolutely nothing, because Tank has the fandom bag.
Oh, shit. Okay, well, all right, and woo. Hey, Tank, what do you got in the fandom bag for us, buddy? I mean, listen, you both are brothers. You know what I mean? Like, so you're related. So I could easily get confused because you are really brothers. So
you just watching that dancing. That's what that was, man. I got you, bro. I got you.
No, and just for everybody that may not know, they are really brothers. There's no kind of innuendo. All right. Anyway, go for it, brother. What you got?
All right. So the first item in the fandom bag is we got a trailer. It's actually the new trailer for the Halo series.
So, okay, real quick, before I play the trailer, this Halo, it's a series on Paramount Plus, right? Paramount Plus. Now, it's based on a video game, correct?
Correct.
The video game.
Okay, and is it video related? Like, is it like futuristic? I mean, what's the premise of the video game? So, for our listeners out there that may not be Halo fanatics.
Well, it's actually the Halo game. It pretty much. It's the reason why the Xbox is even got any fame.
Okay, gotcha.
One of the first, it came out.
So this is a record-breaking, award-winning game that this series is based on.
The series is based on a series of games. Yes, founded by Bungie, was initially set with Microsoft for the very first Xbox. It's what made the platform huge.
Okay,
people migrated to it to play this game. If anybody doesn't know, it's just a sci-fi type deal. Aliens taking over parts of the galaxy. You got U.S. soldiers out in the world trying to take over, well, not take over, but reclaim some of these areas and places that have been mounted by the Covenant is what they're called in different areas. So it's a lot of fun, believe it or not, for the game. And based off of what we see, it's going to be pretty good.
All right, well,
we got a clip.
Yeah, we got a clip. We got the trailer for Halo, the series, right here on the House of Fandom. Yeah, it's better for you to talk less. I got
you. Humanity's best weapon. Master Chief, huh?
The Master Chief was enhanced and trained for one purpose: to win this war. He and the other Spartans are our only effective weapons against the Covenant. He is lethal, upgradable, and most importantly, controllable.
Covenant forces appear to be excavating some kind of object. When I touched the object, I felt something. I felt different.
What they did to us makes you numb.
And you just decided to help me. Why would a Spartan do that?
What does one do with a superhuman you're not sure you can trust?
Hello, Master Chief. I'm Cortana.
Master Chief recovered something.
Sacred ring. Halo.
Humans surrender to the Covenant.
Cortana, I'm gonna need you now. Find the Halo. Win the war.
I mean, if you're a fan of Halo, definitely want to check it out. I mean, visually it looks amazing. It looks just like the game. Like Master Chief is plucked right out of the game. So the game is it's a shooter, futuristic weapons. They got the what they call the Warhog, which is one of the most popular vehicles in the game. Like I said, I mean, only thing that that maybe look weird is Cortana. But that's the only one that kind of. Yeah, I think they tried to take a real actress and make her too CGI. I think they should have just went or just do full CGI. But trying to make a real actress and make her look CGI looks a little off to me. But no, like I said, I mean, if you like Halo, you like shooters, action, you're gonna love it. I mean, we'll see if you're gonna love it. We'll see how the show is.
Yeah, I mean, I like that they're doing a series because a lot of times when it comes to these video game adaptions, it almost seems like they end up kind of messing it up because they're trying to cram in so much in one movie, right, to get the hook. So I'm interested in it. I mean, I don't know. You're a gamer somewhat yourself, so Spike, are you interested in this Halo series?
I play more games than all y'all, bro. I'm very interested, man. It looks amazing, to be real with you. Like Tank said, Master Chief, this was a big worry for a lot of people when we first heard about possible live action because they don't always do his costume right or because he's very intimidating. He's huge. He doesn't mess around. He's definitely one of the greatest heroes out in video game lore, whether you like shooters or not. And it just reeks of money, to say the least. And I was going to ask you if you heard anything about this because I was really surprised when I heard that it was on CBS, with Paramount Plus, CBS. I figured a lot of other people would want to pick this up, so I'm wondering if they were bidding for it. Either way, they put a ton of money into this, and it's working.
Oh, yeah.
It shows. Clearly. It looks really, really good. And the storyline really... There's multiple series in this game. I mean, multiple games in this series. So you could go any way with the storyline. There's a lot of room to play with. You don't have to stay too tight to the storyline. Very wide open. Easy to add little stories of side characters or things like that if you really wanted to. So it's basically, long story short, it's really hard to mess up. With the amount of money they put in it, it should be very difficult for this to be a bad show.
I'm excited by it. I mean, it's interesting.
Yeah, if that one alien they showed is any telling, all the aliens are going to look good. Are going to look good too.
Oh yeah, yeah. They even got the plasma swords in there, and
I
they're
mean,
huge.
it looks like you said high production value.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know, so
Absolutely.
I'm excited about it. What else you got on the fandom bag for our next topic?
All right, next topic. If you remember from the last show, we talked about how Microsoft purchased Activision for $70 billion. Sony had to do a little rebuttal, and they actually bought Bungie for $3.6 billion.
See, so now here's what I have a concern with. So obviously gamers know, what Bungie has. What kind of games in Bungie are like the big sellers here that Sony is now going to, gain from this from this sale?
I don't know if Spike knows knows any more, but only ones I know of is they were the like he said before, they were the original owner of Halo.
Mm-hmm.
But then Halo got bought. I don't know the company that they bought them, but another company bought.
Separated. No,
Yeah,
Bungie.
separate.
When Halo took off, it was right around Halo 2, I think it was after that, somewhere between Halo 2 and 3. Bungie separated from Microsoft, but Microsoft owned the rights to it.
Halo. So Halo's owned directly by Microsoft now. Okay, I thought it was another company, but okay, that's what. Okay, besides that, only other game I know that they own is Destiny. So they paid $3.6 billion
I've
for
heard of Destiny.
one franchise, as far as I know.
Yeah, I think they got a couple other things in there. Destiny's the biggest part. Destiny has 2 parts and has a huge online following.
Yeah.
Kind of dwindling as of late, but Bungie is an amazing studio. So it's still a steal, in my opinion, to get them for $3.6 billion. It might be a tad bit higher, but I'm sure they got some stuff on the works. In the works. They're one of those studios that's similar to Rockstar to me in the sense where they don't rush their games out. So it'll be a while before you see them, but they put a lot of time and effort into them. So it's still a good acquisition.
Rockstar took too long.
I guess we'll see what comes out of that. More competition for the other smaller mom and pop gamers. What else you got in that fandom bag for the next topic? Topic number 3.
And next topic is Master of the Universe live action movie that was originally slated to be out in the theaters. I can't remember what company was going to release it. Probably like Fox or Sony or something.
Well, actually, I heard Netflix is doing it.
Oh no, I'm saying that's where it was going. Who was going to?
Originally it was Sony.
Yeah, originally, yeah,
it was
Sony. Yeah, I thought it was either Sony or Fox, but actually it was Sony scrapped it. They got picked up by Netflix, and they cast actor Kyle Allen as He-Man. I don't know.
This isn't him that we're looking at live.
This is him.
Yeah, that's him.
This is him. Yes.
I feel like I need to watch this, even though it's I think they told me it's a musical, that In the Heights movie, because I feel like every actor that's coming out was in that movie. I'm like, I don't know who this is. Someone says, "Oh, they're in the Heights."
No. Let me tell you something. The last time they did a live action movie for He-Man, Dolph Lundgren played He-Man. We're talking about the Russian from the Rocky IV movie and from the Expendables. Big Dolph Lundgren. Huge. Big guy. Perfect. Okay? Even though the movie was trash, but it was in the 80s, so it was good for that time. You got this remake coming, a live action remake. Who is this guy? And where is he? Because he looks nothing like he can play.
Yeah, I'm really concerned. I mean, it doesn't scream like Dolph Lundgren He-Man, that's for sure. But listen, I mean, does He-Man, listen, we said the same thing about Wonder Woman, did we not?
No.
We didn't say that when we first saw the pictures of Wonder Woman from Batman v Superman. The first pictures that came out, people said she was too scrawny. They said they were concerned that she wasn't going to be able to do the role justice. And look what happened. The rest is history.
Of all, Linda Carter was not.
I'm not talking about Linda Carter.
I know.
I'm talking about
Gal
Gadot. Right.
What I'm saying is, in comparison to Linda
Carter. You say
Carter,
Gadot, I say Gadot.
Gadot is what I said, but.
No, I'm talking about the guy upstairs. Tank, to the right of you.
Yeah. What, God?
Yeah, you said Gadot. Say her last name, dude. Just say her last name.
I said Gal Gadot. I said Gadot. You're hearing things.
Well, listen. All I have to do is rewind the tape. But go
Either
ahead.
way,
I get old man. Okay, old man.
She's hot and she handled it. Okay, He-Man is all about the difference between the two is whether or not she'd be able to fight and be convincing. I could see that argument, but the primary thing that you look at in He-Man is that he's super Diesel. It's about super strength. You can't really sell that if you're not Diesel or strong. You know what I'm saying? Now, true enough, let me say this. He may bulk up huge. I mean, not like Mr. Universe huge, but convincingly strong. This is Hollywood. But I'm saying right now, I'm not sold on it.
Yeah, either. But there's not too many actors who are that big. And they can't have, and they're not about to get any wrestlers because they can't really, they can't really.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, Cena's doing great things right now. He'd be a great He-Man with a little comedy flair.
Yeah, they do. If they do a comedy, if they change to a comedy role,
I would love that while you're playing a He-Man spoof. You give him that mushroom cut wig and let Cena get out there and act a fool. That would be hilarious, man.
Yeah.
That's what you do. But I mean, what is the story going to be? Seriously, because think about it. Everybody in He-Man's muscular, from Beastman to Skeletor to He-Man. Even Man-at-Arms is ripped. You know what I'm saying? So even if you get him like Thor size, heyday Thor, which he's going to have to pack on some pounds, this kid, you're looking at a lot here. I don't know if live action was absolutely necessary, but that's
it's not at all. I mean, there's already 2 separate He-Man shows on Netflix right now.
Exactly.
I don't really think we need a live action one, but
yeah, I just have a bad feeling.
I mean, listen, Netflix is known for pouring a lot of money into into their budgets for, live action movies, big movies with big IP names. So I'm going to reserve my judgment until I check it out. And we'll see what we'll see. I'm sure we'll be reviewing it on here. That's for sure. What else do you have on the fandom for our next topic, which is topic number 4?
Next topic is a little extra rumor mill. Jason Momoa is rumored to be in talk to join Fast and Furious 10 as a villain.
So I got some questions about this. I got a lot of concerns and I got a lot of questions. First, let me just say I think Jason Momoa is a great actor. I think he did justice to, no pun intended, Aquaman. I think he did a great job there. And that is the extent that I have really, seen him, doing a lot. But that was a while ago, and it wasn't a huge part for a long period of time. Gotcha. I'm saying as carrying a movie, So I definitely would be excited to see him as a villain. I'm not saying that I'm not for it, right? My concern is this whole Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson situation that has transpired with this, not going to the Fast and not completing the saga. The beef between him and Vin Diesel and the back and forth. My concern here is, what are we doing? Is this a stunt casting? You know what I mean? Or is this to replace the hole left by Dwayne "The Rock"? I hope that they're not just kind of shoehorning. If they put him in and they say, this is, what's his name? What's his name? Vin's character?
What's about Toretto?
This is Toretto's long lost brother from his sister's mother's brother's friend. You know what I mean? I'm concerned that that we're treading down that whole, okay, here's gonna be the villain who then eventually, after he kills several main cast members, you're still family, and family means a lot. You're invited to the cookout. You know what I mean? That's my main concern on that. I'll be honest with you, I did not see the last Fast and the Furious. After a few of them, I've gotten completely turned off by it. I understand that what's his name went to space in the last one.
Tyrese, was it?
Tyrese went to space, yes.
Tyrese and Ludacris.
Yeah, so honestly, I'm not, obviously it's going to make a ton of money. I think the casting is good, right? But I am concerned it's going to be stunt casting is my concern. I mean, Jason Momoa is a great actor. I think he'll do well as a villain, but I don't know. What are your thoughts, Spike?
First of all, let me say, I didn't realize that Tyrese and Ludacris were the only ones that went to space. So they just made Homeboys in Outer Space for the Fast and the Furious movie. Got it. Because I forgot about that one. Let's put it this way, to your point, okay? Probably since Fast 5, it's been gimmicks anyway, okay? They're committed to doing 10 of them. They're really about stunts and, just little action sequences with little, quirks, not quirks, but, little quips comedic quips back and forth. It's just a fun thing to watch. It's not a bad thing for Momoa to do at this point because it's not going to hurt his career. I will say this: The Rock not coming back makes Tyrese right, because when they were doing that spinoff with him or the Hobbs and Shaw spinoff when it first came out, Tyrese made a big stink about it, and he kept saying it was going to ruin the franchise and The Rock wouldn't be back and they shouldn't allow it. But they said he was crazy. The Rock did it and then dipped away because he was ready to get out of it anyway. So they got their own little beef. For Momoa, I think it'll be cool for him to play a little villain. Some of everybody's been in those movies. It won't really hurt him with the way his career moves. So I'm excited to see him, and I'd like to see him play a bad guy.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. Here is a probably a not popular opinion, but I think Dwayne Johnson has become a little bit of a Devo, man. Like here's my reasoning behind it. People forget when he got to the Fast Furious franchise, his career was very much in the crossroads. He was not as bankable as he was now. You can't tell me during that period of time before that came out what blockbuster films he was in. I think that helped. So it was a mutually beneficial situation. So I think he just very disingenuous by just kind of like blowing it off. You know what I mean? Like that really helped his career, my opinion. You know what I mean? Again, I didn't say it was a popular opinion, but I do think that he can be a little bit much when it comes to, how much, who did what for who. You know what I mean? I think it was mutually exclusive. The Fast franchise was already a $1 billion franchise when he got there. So that's just my take.
I get you, man. Real quick, and let me let Tank jump in here, but I see part of what you're saying. I agree partially. It was huge. It absolutely did help his career. He was on his way either way. It was a nice little springboard for him. But at this point, and you can respect this because you're a numbers guy, he's got to protect his brand. I mean, The Rock reminds me of Kevin Hart in the sense of they're on a cash grab. They're going to make as many movies and projects as they can while they're as big as they are.
That's a great analogy.
And
yes.
So with his brand being high right now, he's going to run and just grab everything he can because he knows that 15 minutes goes quick.
Why walk away? But why walk away from a $30 million payday for the final finale just because you want to prove hey, I don't need you? You know what I mean? Because that's basically what he did.
Part of it is a little ego, but also too, I mean, we got to think about what he probably is getting in points at this point. Behind the scenes, like what they were offering, split the money with that kind of cast.
Yeah,
he's
but
making
no.
a whole lot more being solo, bro.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. He has been getting top money from the Jump Street, so I don't even think it has to do with money. I think he's being spiteful, my opinion, because he has a beef with Vin Diesel or whatever. But listen, say what you want to say about baby boy, what's his name? Tyrese. He's loyal. Okay, he's always been loyal to Vin Diesel from the Jump Street. You know what I'm saying? And he's been appreciative, and he's been also loyal. And I think that there's a sense of like a disingenuous feeling that I'm too good for this now. I'm not going to appear in it. Not him. I'm talking about The Rock.
I know, but think about that cast, bro. Everybody in that cast, with the exception of The Rock, needs the Fast series.
Absolutely, you're right.
So The Rock, it almost
he doesn't need it. You're right.
It almost needs for him to leave because I kind of feel like from the ones I've seen, I didn't see the last one. Tank, you did, and you can tell me, or us, all of us. I feel like that they've kind of run the course with that character.
Well, it's the last. Listen, it's the last movie. Why not complete the series? The Fast 10 is going to be the first, the last one, two-parter. But one movie, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to take too much time on this topic, but Tank, you have that last word, and then we're going to move to the last topic number 5. What is the last word with Dwayne The Rock Johnson? Is he a Devo, or he is just looking out for numero uno?
He's a sexy man.
I'll give my opinions on that, but I'm also going to give my with The Rock. I mean, he doesn't like Vin Diesel. They have beef. Probably, I think, went through the last 2 movies that Rock was in, and it's The Rock. He doesn't, like I said, he doesn't need however much money he was going to get from being in the 10th one. And he's already said that they're going to continue to make Hobbs and Shaw. In which, with it being The Rock, he'll still make that same amount of money. I mean, he said, if I didn't like someone and I didn't need to do a job with, I would 100%. I don't care how much money it was giving me. If I didn't need it, and I could make it doing something else I wanted to do with people I want to work, I wouldn't do it either.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I guess we'll see what we'll see. If it's going to be good without him, or or it's just going to be one of those situations where you bring in Jason Momoa to fulfill the shoes left behind by his characters being gone. But what do you got for the last topic there, Tank?
Well, first, with the Jason Momoa being in there, I mean, they might as well just, they've already went to space. They're like I said, the fast movies, like I said, they're entertaining for what they are. Either you hate it or you love it. Like I said, if they never make another one, I'll be happy. If they keep making it, I'll go and see it. I mean, they might as well just go crazy. Have Jason Momoa be some weird from the future, be Toretto's son. Just go all the way crazy.
Go back to the future ham.
And
Vin Diesel becomes Doc Brown.
Just go all the way because y'all didn't see the last one, but his son, his hair is very much Jason Momoa. So,
really? Okay.
Just go ahead.
Don't tell me. No, but they said he's going to be a villain, so I think they've already kind of. Well, that was speculatory. That is true. Hey, listen. Spoiler alert. They did it for Bad Boys Forever. They did it for Bad Boys Forever. They did. That came out of left field. That came out of left field.
And then what happened? He ended up just like being family.
Yep. After he killed a homeboy, the chief. You know what I mean? Like, dude, that's unforgivable, bro. Like, how can you not? Oh, cool. It's cool. We're gonna figure it out. No, we're not gonna figure it out. What are you doing anyway? We could go on and on and on. But listen, what is the final topic of fandom news today?
All right. Final topic is James Gunn confirms Guardians 3 is the last time we will see the team together, that specific team together.
So here's the thing. I'm not surprised with this news because I'm not surprised because it seems like that whole legacy characters from the original Avengers era leading up to Endgame, it seems like that time is wrapping up. So I'm not surprised to hear that. But what are your sources saying, Tank? Are we talking about the end of the Guardians of the Galaxy or the end of that iteration of the characters?
See, I think it's going to be the end of that iteration of characters.
Right.
I think because that's when that headline came out, comments and people going crazy thinking that meant it was going to be no more Guardians of the Galaxy movies. I think it just means that that's going to be the last iteration. I'm pretty sure I already know. Batista's art is done.
And Gamora.
Yeah, that's another one that's another one that feels like he needs to be a thespian. That's another one that I get kind of annoyed by too.
I didn't know Gamora was done.
No, I'm saying she should be. I mean, she's dead.
No, she came back. Remember in Endgame, they got the
that was back in time.
No, she's back. This is part of her. Yeah, she's
remember.
back.
Yeah, remember. It's the
with this. Yeah.
The one. She stayed. But she stayed.
You're right. So, I forgot about that.
Hey, Tank, he's having a senior moment.
Is it? Yeah, I'm more looking forward to seeing her in Avatar than I am in this. She's running her course too. We're going to bust them up. I mean, because think about it. If you said this collection, that could just mean all of them at once. That doesn't mean you won't see Star-Lord, Groot, and Rocket.
Yeah, actually, I think Rocket might be done.
Oh yeah, he's done.
That'd be good too.
Because like I said, I was talking about with the Spike, the other day. You never see Bradley Cooper doing any press.
No.
I've seen Vin Diesel sometimes. It's not all the time, but I've seen Vin Diesel do press. You never see Bradley Cooper. And I was talking before, like when he first got the role as Rocket, he was doing different movies. Like that was like right after. So he was doing and like A-Team and all those. Now he does like all Oscar, Oscar nominated movies. So like this, to keep doing this is very different from all the movies that he do. So I don't see him continuing to do this.
And it was a quick check. You don't drop out on the hero franchise. So he made a ton of money just doing Rocket and voiceovers. You know what I'm saying? And then going on and doing whatever. He got the bag like nobody's business off of that one.
Yeah.
It's time to move on and do some other stuff, and I'm sure Gunn wants to play around with other characters.
Yeah, well, he's getting firmly involved in DC. It seems like.
So at this
interesting.
point,
Yeah, like I said, in the comic books, like the Guardians are kind of like the Suicide Squad. Meaning, ever since the movie got popular, there's been the same team. But I read it was different. It was always like different teams, and they've actually added people to like the new team. So it's not crazy for them to add different people to it.
Right.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Yondu was my favorite, and he's gone. So
yeah, exactly. All right, gentlemen. Anything else for fandom news, or does that wrap up another segment of fandom news with Tank leading the charge?
It is a wrap for the fandom news bag.
Thank you, sir. Always a pleasure. All right. So here we are. We are on the main topic of the day, the main fight club of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be talking about episodes 5 and episode 6 of what is called the Book of Boba Fett. But as we go through this spoiler-filled review, you may find that we're chartering into a familiar series that doesn't have the name The Book of Boba Fett. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get
2.5.
Exactly. Mandalorian 2.5. So, listen, I'm just going to stop for a minute because I need to take a breather. I'm going to take a drink here. Spike, why don't you lead us down this merry-go-round that we are calling the Book of Boba Fett? And for those of you that are just tuning in, you guys need to check out our episodes 1 and 2 and episodes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 of the Book of Boba Fett. We don't mince words with the Book of Boba Fett. No, we are unanimous in how much we do not like the Book of Boba Fett and where it's headed. So with that, Spike, what'd you think of these latest episodes of the Book of Boba Fett?
Well, I'm just going to come right on out and say it. I haven't seen episodes 5 and 6 of the Book of Boba Fett. I've seen 2 new leaked episodes of The Mandalorian that I have thoroughly enjoyed, being a fan of Mando and Din Djarin. As Tank and I have discussed off air, you got to be pretty bad, bro, of a show, which justifies how we all have felt, to have to call in your homie to be in the show. We're going to episode 5 for those that haven't seen it, and you don't see Boba at all. Okay? He's not there. He has nothing to do with the show. It is all the Mandalorian. Best episode, as Tank just said, of the entire series thus far to date. First of all, let me say this. All jokes aside, it was exciting to see Mando again. I'm a huge fan of the show. It was great watching him come on out and see, and interact and get a little storyline of his own in here. But as far as the show is concerned in itself, it still sucks. Mando it's Mando, man. It was really good writing. And to your point, what we were just talking about earlier, you brought up the Halo series. I know you don't really play games like that, Clark. But one of the main parts of the Halo video game is called the Ring. It literally looks like a ring, okay? But it's like planet size or whatever, okay? You see Mando on that ring. It's not necessarily the Halo ring, but I've never seen it on anything else in that series, which got the geek in me going ballistic, to see it. It looked really, really good, okay? The fight scenes was great. I love seeing him with the Darksaber. It was just really entertaining, well put together. Budget looked good. The writing was good. It was what we would expect from Boba.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, listen, I definitely was impressed with the last 2 episodes. Obviously, the name, the Book Boba Fett, is the name in itself, but it was not what we saw. There was no Boba Fett in episode 5, and at all, right? And then there was like a fraction of 10 seconds, 15, 20 seconds, maybe a minute, I think, on this last one.
Yeah.
But it was clinic. But here's what's interesting about this. One, clearly the acting is better by Pedro Pascal as the Mandalorian. He owns that role. when he arrived, I was like, yes. And when he was doing his thing, especially with the screen on it right now with the Darksaber, I'll be honest with you, I didn't know anything about the lore of the Darksaber or anything like that until I started watching The Mandalorian. I understand that they covered it very heavily in the cartoon series or animated series of the Clone Wars, right? But for me, I didn't know anything about the Darksaber. I think it's super cool. I love it. I think it's very Shogun Samurai-ish. I just think it's great. I think it's amazing. I thought the episode 5 was a thrilling, escapist, amazing show with some flaws.
Yes.
I mean, let's be honest. Do we really need to see X-Wing fighters pulling someone over, asking them for their license and registration? That, to me, is
Nope, I loved it. Loved it.
You loved it. I did not. I did not. Because
Why?
I do not believe anything like that. Here's why. Let me explain, okay? Let's talk Return of the Jedi for a minute here. Dave O'Donnell's in there. Dave, what's up? Cliff Bravo, I see you. But Dave O'Donnell could probably attest to this. He's a huge Star Wars fan.
Okay.
The tracking mechanisms and the Death Stars and all the other things, they can track it from ship to ship. So the fact that they're asking for the come on, I just think,
registered.
I understand it wasn't. I understand that, but the fact that they couldn't, it was just. Let me just like a gun. Let me just etch it out like the serial numbers. Come on, man.
You gotta remember. Hold on, because this is why I think you let it shadow you a bit because of how they pulled him over. Okay. Remember, they practically rebuilt this. I don't even want. It's not a speeder, but the Naboo starfighter, basically
otherwise known as
Annie's.
Skywalker. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. They rebuilt it with parts from other different machines, and just like if you're doing with a car, none of that stuff's gonna match up. So yeah, they weren't gonna. It wasn't registered. There is no tracking system in there on purpose. They had to ask, which is why they wanted to confiscate it. You know what I'm saying? And it was a good way for you to see him get away. I thought it was dope. I'm sorry. And it was a nice little throwback to even have that starfighter in there. Yeah, for them to find that, man, he's long gone.
Listen,
he was a kid when he was in that.
Dave says it was corny as Jar Jar for me. Ooh.
Wow.
That is
purist.
he's in it. He's of course. Dude, he is a purist. His collection that he has, I mean, he has original Kenner stuff. I mean, this guy loves some Star Wars. But listen,
but that was not as bad as Jar Jar.
Felt,
Come on.
Okay, listen. Maybe he was being a little melodramatic, all right, comparing it to Jar Jar Binks. However, it just seemed like, I'm pulling you over like a car. Remember when I said to you guys that this, when did Star Wars people start referring to each other as humans? When did you know what I'm saying? Like I felt like the script was a little too loose with the jargon here. Okay, we're talking about a galaxy far, far away. All right, we're not talking about people pulling over people because they don't got a license or registration. Come on now, it's silly. It's silly. That's what I'm going to say. It's silly. Now, that said, I thought the episode was amazing. But enough about me and you and what we thought, Spike. I want to see what my man Tank has to say about this because we all know how he feels about Boba Fett because he was not happy just as much as we weren't in the last 4 episodes of The Mandalorian. So what say you, Tank?
Tank, did it hold up?
I hate you. Episode 5. It was really good. Episode 5 was really good. 6, it was okay. I'll say 6 is okay. I feel like I'm in the minority with 6 being okay from what I've been hearing. But no, episode 5 was really good. But like I said, it was because it was The Mandalorian. Opened up right with the accent. I liked how he wasn't perfect with the Darksaber. Like I really liked that. He still was a badass because it's the Mando, but he's not used to using that type of weapon. Like he cut his leg, but still he still came up. That one scene where he chopped dude on the table. I was like, oh, that was
all anger right there, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, I enjoyed that actually. I thought that was pretty cool. We forget how savage the like Vader was when he ripped off when he cut off Luke's hand, or how savage the prequels were when it came to lightsabers. And let's not forget, Boba Fett's daddy lost his head to Mace Windu. Yeah. So I mean, they're not afraid to do that. I thought it was really interesting on that. That they were as brutal in showing like what these things can do.
Yeah, I want to run a question by both of you, because I see Cliff Bravo said that Mando need lightsaber big time. I'm not sure. Training, yeah. Do you think he needs training, or part of me thinks it's because, like, remember when he went the female Mandalorian, where she said that using like a weapon like that, if fighting against it, he said using a weapon like that goes against the Mandalorian's code, the Jedi code is different from the Mandalorian code. So I'm wondering, I don't know if he needs training, or if it's because like internally he's fighting it more so that way, because using that type of weapon is so much against what he's lived by his whole life.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think that's a good perspective, a good way of putting it. But I think we're not talking about Shakespeare here. Sorry, I had to do that. I had to do it. Hey, real quick, we're hearing slight audio back and forth when you're moving your hands or your body in front of the mic, Tank. So just FYI. So just you sound great, but you're breaking up a little bit. And,
deal with it.
Okay, there you go. All right, everybody, deal with it. That's Tank has spoken. He's such a Devo, man. He's such a Devo. Anyway, listen. So let me just say, I thought that overall that the Mandalorian arc in the Book of Boba Fett arguably was the best thing about the Book of Boba Fett, unfortunately, and therein lies the issue. I want to say that, and we've talked about this, that it's disappointing that they take such a iconic character such as Boba Fett, and they've really reduced him into really just someone that just doesn't, he's not stone cold killer like old boy with the hat said in episode 6, which we'll talk about in a minute, right? Because let's be honest here, he doesn't feel like he's a stone cold killer bounty hunter like he used to be. So we are not dealing with the same Boba Fett. And I understand that people, they get older, they change things, they evolve, and I get all that. However, I feel that the character could have had all of that, but unfortunately, the writing has failed the Book of Boba Fett. That's what I believe the biggest criminal of this galactic empire and galaxy of the Book of Boba Fett is. The writers have really, they ran out of ideas and what to do with a character that in the original series appeared for only a matter of, I think, a few minutes, throughout the entire series. But I don't know. I'm just, like I said, I'm concerned because we only have one episode left, right? And so to see where this goes. Now, what were your highlights, Spike and Tank, of episode 5 of The Mandalorian? I know we talked about the battle, right? But there were some other things as well that I thought were really nice nods to the prequel series and also the original trilogy. What were some of the highlights for you guys?
In episode 5?
Yes. Tank?
I like the content, the male Mandalorian who right away, as soon as he saw Mando with the Darksaber, you could tell right away that he was going to try to fight Mando for that.
Yeah, I thought so as well. I like that.
I like when he was getting the train, and they were like, no weapons. He was like, that's me. Like, that's my life. My weapons are a part of me.
Right.
And just,
this is his religion.
Yeah, this is my religion. Yeah, I couldn't think of the way. And then took everything off, and it took him ages to take everything off. And then when the robot closed, he was like, I know everything that's in there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I thought that was brilliant, too. I really enjoyed that. Spike, what did you think of, I guess specifically, and I'll kind of lead the witness here. What did you think about the whole evolution of building the Anakin's, starfighter and then converting it into the Mandalorian ship? What did you think of that? And then also, I don't know if you saw some of the nods when he was racing. I don't know. It was like a nod back to the pod racing, from Phantom Menace. What did you think of that?
Well, that was the thing that I was thinking about when you first asked that question was there anything else? Because for me, I like the nostalgia aspect of it. The throwback, first of all, like I said, to bring that Naboo starfighter in, the pod racer, for it to be Anakin's, to build it custom but still leave aspects of it to like be that throwback for it to be Annie's, was heartwarming for me because everybody loved young Annie, and everybody remembers that part of Phantom Menace and watching them move around and seeing him rebuild this thing up and make it better. Because correct me if I'm wrong, but in Phantom Menace, Annie used to say little things like it wasn't completely finished. It was functional, but he wasn't all the way done with it with a lot of stuff, just like he was with his droids and things. And so to see it come to fruition where it's completed, it's fast, it moves, and then when he takes his test run, he's in the same areas that Anakin's in when they were having the pod races and stuff, and he's shooting around through that bad boy. So that was a major highlight for me. Obviously, the fight scenes were dope. To Tank's point, yes, I absolutely love the fact that he does not know how to use the Darksaber completely right now, and he's just kind of winging it. Just, all the way around, I thought it was cultivated nice and warm. It felt thought out. It felt like they had a plan with it. Does not really feel like it belongs in Boba to me at all. And it also confirms me, because I was one of the defenders, if you look at the other episodes, of the writing on the show, and I felt like it was some other ways, but I have to eat crow here and say that you're absolutely right, Clark. It's all the writer's fault. I really do feel like they strung us along with these other episodes. Let me just say that. And that this is where their meat and potatoes was. They did not have enough content for a Boba Fett series. They threw some stuff together, and I almost feel like they stole these 2 episodes from the upcoming Mandalorian show.
I agree.
As filler. Because for us not to
totally
see Boba
agree.
at all in episode 5 in his own show, and he's been horrible the whole time. Even to your point, if you wanted him to change because of his time with the Sand People, you could have had Finnick running everything for him and him kind of being torn. And then off trying to figure out what he needed to do, and the fight scene with the Pikes or whatever, bringing that part out of him that he wanted to leave behind. He only fights when he has to, almost like a monk. There was so many different ways to do that, and they haven't. It's really saved the series really to keep a couple people watching with Mando for Ep5.
Yeah,
so.
they listen. The writers of The Mandalorian, Dave Filoni, who is the creator, co-creator, along with Jon Favreau, he understands The Mandalorian. The problem is, I don't think they get Boba Fett. And I think therein lies your challenge here. I think that they used a character that unfortunately was more of a cameo and look cool character, badass character, but they didn't know how to really resolve his backstory the way in which would be effective for a series, right? So it does feel like a money grab. I think Dave mentioned in the chat, it feels like they went completely off the canon grid. With the whole Western vibe and the whole, like, all of those different things. Like, why did we think that Boba Fett was about Western-y, feel? Mandalorian felt like that. You know what I mean? Mandalorian, because remember, Mandalorian, we didn't really know anything about Mandalorian.
Right.
But with Boba Fett, it just didn't seem right. And all the cool things about Boba Fett is rarely featured. The cool gadgets on his suit, the flamethrower, the rocket launcher. It's not used in the show. It's used sparingly, if at all. I don't even remember. It's not memorable. Then you say again.
I'm sorry to even interrupt you, but oh boy, had more fun with Boba's suit than Boba does.
Exactly.
Boba acts like he does not know how to use his equipment.
Exactly.
He really does.
It's very confusing to me, coming from one of the stone cold killers. Now, the gentleman to my left over here that I'm looking at in this screen here with the Western hat and the red eyes, this character, I understand his name is
Cad Bane.
Cad Bane. Okay, and we'll get into this Cad Bane in more details, but Cad Bane says that Boba Fett was a stone cold killer. That's basically what he said. And so I don't know where that Boba Fett is because this guy is like he's rocking the dad bod. He's not, and listen, I'm not even trying to, all I'm saying is that he is not giving me that killer feel or instinct anymore. You know what I'm saying? And so the allure of it, and then taking off the mask is just too much. You know what I mean? It's too much. But that's just, my 2 cents on it, just taking off the mask. But, Spike, what are your thoughts? And then Tank, I definitely want to hear the few last thoughts on episode 5 from you.
I agree with you wholeheartedly with that last part there. I mean, Cad Bane's a bounty hunter too. He's vicious. Boba's vicious. I just want to highlight, really quickly for all those out there, there's an Oscar award-winning movie called The Unforgiven by Clint Eastwood. That was a dirty,
of course, we remember.
SOB.
We remember that
Dirty SOB. It's an
Oscar-winning
movie,
performance
right?
by Gene Hackman and Morgan Freeman, by the way.
Absolutely. And so in that movie, storylines very similar that I feel like you could have took inspiration from. He got married and he turned his back on all his dirty old ways. If you wanted that, because we know what Boba used to be, he used to work for the Empire or anybody. You could have went that route with him. In the end of The Unforgiven, because of some things that happened and him losing his best friend, he goes back to that way to take out all of the people that have wronged him and his people, okay, and his friends. Same premise with Boba, if that's what you really wanted to do, okay? But right now, you've been leading it like he's actually Boba Fett, and he's not, so it's trash. And so that's why I'm really upset about what's happening here. But go ahead, Tank, man. You got it, bro, because I'm ugh.
Give us the last word on episode 5, and then we'll move on to the last episode that we've reviewed, episode 6.
I will no longer call this episode 5 of Boba Fett. This is Mandalorian season 3, episode 0.
There we go.
This is the bonus prologue episode.
Yeah, it's prologue
Exactly.
of season 3. Like I said, I mean, like we all said, it was a great episode. It was dope seeing Mando, seeing him use a darksaber. Dope, seeing him interact with that robot and everything. But this didn't, also dope seeing him, interact with, Fennec at the end, Then he was all like, she was trying to give him the help. He was like, free, which, you're a bounty hunter. Why would you do anything for free? But, I guess maybe, I can't remember, maybe he owed Boba one for helping him at the end of the season 2. But with that said, good episode. It did nothing for the show.
Nope.
Did nothing to make me want to continue watching.
A great standalone show continuing
Episode.
the journey of the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Not a Boba Fett.
Yeah.
I get it. There's an asterisk there. There's an asterisk when we do our review, because really you can't give credit to Boba Fett when it really did not propel the story of Boba Fett. Because especially this episode was way, 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 way about the Mandalorian. It was nothing to do about the Boba Fett.
It didn't touch Boba until he talked to Fennec at the end.
Yeah, and they could have added that. They
45
could have added that just in the beginning or end of episode, or if Mando could have just showed up, we wouldn't know. I'm here to help. Like, it did nothing at all for the show to help it.
Yeah, I agree. Manny Rivera joined us. He said he's not interested at Boba at the moment. Give me more Grogu, Mando, and characters from the cartoon universe, and I'm happy. And I think when we start talking about episode 6, we're really going to delve into that, right? And so, here's my two bits on episode 6, because obviously we talked about episode 5. But listen, episode 6, for me, was the best part of this entire Book of Boba Fett series. That said, I can't completely classify this as a Mandalorian story because it had a lot of arcs that has to do within the Boba Fett storyline. So I'm not going to although, hear me out.
Go ahead.
Although the majority of the time is spent with other characters besides Boba Fett that were very interesting, and bringing up some old characters that we remember and love from back in the day. Spoiler alert coming. I will have to tell you that I was really happy with this episode. Episode 6 to me was actually better than episode 5 in that it gave me everything I was looking for in the Star Wars lore to fill in the pieces that were missing from Return of the Jedi leading up to the final 3 films in the Star Wars saga. Now, I'm going to say a few things. One, I will say I thought it was brilliant that they included Luke Skywalker again, and I will tell you why later. And I thought that the effects and the deep fake and the CGI was way, way better than done in The Mandalorian. And I'll get to why I think it was better as well. And then also, I thought it gave us a great setup for the showdown, the Wild Wild West showdown, right? Of the Syndicate, or whatever you want to call it, against Boba Fett and his ragtag guys that he's hired, and gals, to to fight these guys. So with that, Tank, I'm gonna hand it off to you. What were your thoughts about episode 6 of the Book of Boba Fett?
It was okay. I mean, it wasn't, it was good. It wasn't great, but it was okay. It wasn't my favorite episode. I mean, if we go of all the Boba Fett episodes, it was the best. But I mean, me personally, man, it was, like I said, it was dope. It was, cool seeing, little Grogu. But they spent too much time with just them. It was like 30 minutes. Like they could have opened it up how they did. Had man they go there, that whole opening scene. They could have went all the way till when he gave the gift to Ahsoka, and then a little bit, maybe a little bit more, like maybe showing Grogu, seeing him leave. But all the extra meditating and training, jump for me, which that was hilarious. A little jumpy. Say that.
I mean, but it was a nod to Empire Strikes Back, obviously.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm not surprised you wouldn't be so endeared by the whole thing because
I was there, but it was like for the show to be about Boba Fett.
Well, right.
It was too much of it in that because I mean, I feel like I just thought about this. I feel like they were trying to do what they did with episode 5 and also the last episode of The Mandalorian, or whatever episode Boba Fett was in. I feel like they're trying to set up the Ahsoka show.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's all connected
with that. I just felt like it was just too much for that. Like I said, it was a good scene, good 30 minutes, but and it comes back to my issue with the second part. The second part would have held so much more weight with me if we had built up to any of this whole show. Like with the what's his name, the Western
Cad Bane.
Cad Bane, or the Cad Bane, or the Syndicate that they found out that they talked about for a second that took over. Like if we had been building more of that instead of doing those stupid flashbacks that meant nothing, that last half would have meant I would have cared more. But I didn't. So that just comes back to the whole issue with the show. They did not write this, or they didn't plan this properly.
Let me ask you this, Tank. If what did you think of the deep fake and the CGI this time around with Luke Skywalker?
It looks good. I mean, he looked a little dead in the eyes a couple times, but I mean, overall it looks good. I mean, we'll see. I don't know how much longer they're going to plan on using him. I mean, I personally would just, like to see them, they could just cast someone who looks like Mark Hamill, or look like Mark Hamill did when he was young.
I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going full in on this. This tells me they're going. I mean, I respectfully disagree. I think they're going full in. I know you're shaking your head in agreement, Spike. What say you on that?
I see where Tank's coming from, where he feels like they should do that, but they got such a great response from The Mandalorian and I was one of the people to see a CGI young Luke Skywalker, and then they put so much money into this one. Like to me, he looked absolutely real.
Oh, he looked great.
So with this, it's better for the show to do it. I get what you're saying, that they spent a lot of time on it, but this was kind of a or a nod, a tip of the hat, if you will, to all of the fans from, what was it, The Last Skywalker or whatever, where we saw old Mark Hamill with the Force Ghost. You didn't see enough Luke Skywalker like the movie thought you would. And a lot of people, just like Clark is saying, have had these unanswered questions where we're using our imaginations of what happened to Luke after Return of the Jedi. Right. What's going on? Where did he go? What did he do between that time frame and what we saw in like Last Skywalker or whatever one of those episodes it is? Forgive me for not remembering the exact title. So there's a huge gap in years in there. So they're kind of filling that in to give you an idea of what, and it gives them the opportunity, and this is all my opinion, to toy with Luke. Like you said, the Ahsoka series, you'll probably see Luke again for a split second. Every now and again, he can pop back in and show you, and you can gradually age him if you want to. But it's a nice little throwback to us, and it confirmed that for me when we saw the training with Grogu, because it's identical to the training that Luke got with Yoda. And that bond that he's forming with Grogu, it just takes him to that space because he misses all that time that he lost with Yoda.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I finish your thought, please. I agree with you.
No, you're good. You're good. I was just gonna say, I like the little tidbits. Like I like the fact that he let Grogu know that what's a short time for you is a lifetime for everyone else.
Yeah. I thought that was very meaningful.
I thought that was dope. Yeah, absolutely. It was little things like that were really good in the episode. I'm excited personally about Ahsoka.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see that.
I agree with you. I think, and I actually have a illustration from a scene from episode 6 with Luke Skywalker. I thought they did a great job. In fact, the kid, here's the cool part about this whole story. There's a kid, a guy, a very like techie guy. I think he's like in his 20s. When he saw that Mandalorian, he said, I could do it better. He did it better. Lucas hired him. And that's his work up there. Oh, yeah, so it's great. It's great. Yeah, and I think it's a much better look now. And listen, I think this is the most extensive that I've seen, where it's like really where you like, you know what, I'm buying into this. It doesn't seem off, maybe here and there, but nothing that throws off. The key of the success in this is that to ensure that they do it right is you have to have Mark Hamill's voice, and they have that. Yep. And so because they have that, and because they basically synthesize his voice to match Return of the Jedi era, it looks great, and I think it's great. Now, here's an interesting tidbit. Dave says that he feels like the pandering to fans is too obvious, and that it's jumping around with the backpack and all that. And so, yeah, I get it, Dave. I think there is some pandering, but let's be honest here. He's taking what he learned from Yoda, and he's trying to train, right? Because remember, this is the build-up. Remember when he built the Jedi Temple? But what happens? We all know what happens with Kylo Ren, right? Ben Solo, right? So this is leading up to that. The key for me there is, does Grogu perish in the temple? Or does Grogu not perish and he does not become a Jedi and he is not part of that storyline? He picks the other thing, or does he pick it and he dies? We'll find out later. Or does he pick it and survives? But I will tell you, they're all in. My sources have already told me Lucasfilm is all in. He is the ambassador. Mark Hamill's the ambassador of the Star Wars legacy. He will be, as long as he's breathing, he's going to be a part of it. So they are going to continue doing this story arc. I believe we'll see him again in The Mandalorian. I believe we'll see him again in Ahsoka, in that series. And I think we have some other things that are planned that'll be integrating him into there as well. I don't think he'll carry the whole show, but I think we'll have moments and character beats that will help us to fill in. And as you said, to help really kind of like do a little bit of course correction, because they really kind of messed up his character and who he was in The Last Jedi. And a lot of people were not happy with that. Although some people did like it, I did not. I didn't think that was the way he was.
Well, they didn't give you enough. And so being able to fill in those gaps, and even though, and I get where a lot of people will feel is pandering, but you got to remember too, let's take a step back and remember, Luke never completed his training with Yoda. So think about it. He became a master on his own. He kind of thugged it out and figured a lot of things out through trial and error himself. So as a teacher, with Grogu being his first student, the first thing he relates back to is what he was taught. He already was late in age to begin training.
Right.
Way too old. If he wasn't Anakin's son, he never would have got that training that he did get. Okay. So the only thing he knows is to start with the basics and then try to build upon that. So true enough, it is a throwback, and you see it, Empire and things like that. But we got to remember, this is what he knows. Everything that he learned beyond that, he learned on his own after that little foundation. So that's got to be where he starts until he figures out his, his little lesson plan for where the school's going to go. So I agree.
Yeah, I agree. I think, listen, I also, Manny says the Anakin reference from his Padawan, Ashoka was pretty dope. Yes, I thought that was really good as well. I thought those little nods that they had, especially in this, for me, it was very nostalgic. And, I understand Dave's point of view as well when you think about the pandering, but I try to just accept it for what it is. I'll take the candy. It's sugary and it goes down beautifully and it makes me comfortable and makes me go back to the days of remembering watching the Star Wars trilogy, the original trilogy in the 80s. So I'm awesome for that, right? And so I just think, you know what, at the end of the day, I hope that they continue doing this, maybe with a better balance, because I don't want it to be like, oh, look at that. They did a nod here. They did a wink there. I mean, let's just keep it a little bit balanced, and I think they'll do just fine. Tank, I got a question for you. Was Ashoka, that's how we say her name?
I think it's Ahsoka.
Ahsoka. Was her character necessary?
Fine, yes. Oh, yes.
I was going to say the same.
Was her character... Hold on, take it easy, gentlemen, okay? We're talking about a show here.
That's Rosario,
was her character showing up necessary for this episode? Tank, what say you?
I mean, this whole 30 minutes wasn't necessary for the whole show, but because I don't know, I guess probably because like I said, because I saw a theory that they think that she might actually, Grogu might turn her down, turn Luke down and take the chainmail, right? And then maybe Ahsoka will take him and train her in her way. She I think I didn't watch the show, but I heard. She kind of did finish her training with Anakin, because she stopped agreeing with the ways of the Force. So she might take Grogu and teach him her ways of the Force. So if they do something like that, then she. I mean, I think it was just another. No, I'm not gonna say pandering or just another cash grab. Just another thing. Get an extra character that is not pertaining to Boba Fett in the show. But no, was she necessary? Could they have done all that whole scene without her? Yeah, but I think they did it because I don't recall in the Mandalorian if Luke and Mando actually ever talked to each other. So that was his.
Oh, I think he did. I'm sorry, Tank. Go ahead.
Okay, I think that was just their way their way for Grogu to get the gift without, and also I guess okay, I'll take that back. I guess she was necessary because if Grogu would have saw Mando, he would have ran to his arm. That was a way to where he could give him the gift and not actually see Grogu. Because Grogu, he would have said Grogu.
Yeah, you broke up a little bit, but I think your last comment was, if you could bring your mic up a little bit, Tank, but I think your last comment, it sounded like you were saying that it was necessary for her to be there to ensure that the gift can be given to Grogu without him actually seeing Grogu. Is that what your statement was? It just broke up a little bit in there. So
correct, yeah. So that he could give the gift to Grogu without actually seeing Grogu, because if they would have saw each other, it would have been a whole hallmark moment, slow motion running to each other's arms.
Actually, he would be jumping like a little jumping baby.
Yeah. Me. And Grogu would have left with Mando. So
yeah. Yeah.
She's a good buffer, bro, and I personally think that she was necessary because I feel like she's gonna come help them fight in the last episode. To your point, this is kind of like a little tag for her own show to kind of reintroduce her. Nice to anybody else. You could have had any little underling or whatever that Luke has on that little island to go give that gift if that was necessary. But it was
that would be Jedi Apprentice or Padawan.
Well, no, I mean like he has like those. What was it in like the Last Jedi or whatever, where Rey goes on the island? Those are fur things or whatever. Those aren't
right. But come on, you're gonna compare Ashoka to a furball? Come on.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying if we're talking about somebody being a buffer between Mando and Grogu, it could have been anybody, or you could have been a droid. Okay. What I'm saying is she definitely serves a purpose, and I felt like it was a nice little touch to have her do it because Mando has a relationship with her. And I feel like she's going to come back because she mentioned something like "You're going to see me again, or we'll see each other again." Or whatever.
Of course,
she's talking to Luke and everybody, and I think that she'll go and help out with the fight for a little bit because they don't have enough people, and they definitely need her. So I think that she'll pop up too.
Oh, we'll see. I don't know if I agree with that completely. Only because I don't think a Jedi is going to be going in to interfere with gangsters and the Syndicate and who's going to be the gangster with heart, Boba Fett, the changed gangster. She's not
really a Jedi.
That's what I'm saying. She don't go by Jedi ways. If it was anybody else, Luke will never go. You know what I'm saying? If it was a regular Jedi, absolutely not. But she's not. That's just what leads me to believe she'll show up.
Okay, well, hey, listen, we will find out next. We'll find out next week, and we will be reviewing it the following day, the finale of the Book of Boba Fett at the House of Fandom next Thursday. Let me ask you boys this question. We'll get to the finale and the choice that Grogu has to make, right? But let me ask you this very important question. If you were Luke, what are you thinking? What are you hoping that Grogu does?
Well, Luke wants him to continue training. Because he honestly like just like your thing, either one or both of you alluded to. Obviously, he sees Yoda in Grogu.
I agree.
He wants to keep latching on to he lost Yoda suddenly in the middle of his training, so he wants to kind of whatever connection or latching on he can get or memory he can get or retain from Yoda, he wants to get it in this baby Yoda, as they call it.
Right. And I wouldn't say that he lost him directly in his training. In actuality, he had completed most of his training with Yoda. Yoda died of old age, but I agree, he still had one more thing to do, and that was to face Vader, his father, Anakin Skywalker. But I do agree with you, Tank, that I think that his feelings for Yoda and what he sees there, but what I was thinking as well is that Yoda always said that Luke doesn't always look at the big picture, and he could be a little stubborn, and I'm concerned that he's going to want him to do this, right? Because look what happened. The whole temple gets, burnt to the ground because of shit that happened in right before Last Jedi, and when obviously Ben Solo turns to the dark side, right? Or emo dark side, who knows? But Tank, what are your you know what I'm saying? But Tank, what do you think about it? I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do you think if you're Luke Skywalker? What do you want from this? What is your outcome to this? He's giving him a choice here. But what is he hoping? What are you thinking if you're Skywalker?
Well, I think. Oh, wait a minute. You're talking about Tank. My bad.
I think so.
I'm sorry.
Oh, he meant me.
Okay. Spike. Sorry.
I personally think Luke's torn. Okay, the selfish part of him absolutely wants Grogu to stay. It's his first student. It's a nostalgia link because this is only the second time you've seen anybody of Yoda's kind outside of Yoda. Okay, so to want to train and help develop a new level or a new being as strong in the Force, as possibly as strong in the Force as Master Yoda was, would be something that's exciting for him, and to have that connection and more time. So I get that. But I also know that we know from Luke, he's a big proponent of following your heart,
Yes.
which is how he saved his dad. So
That's
deep
true.
inside in his heart, outside of his selfish wants, he wants Grogu to follow his heart. And he already knows that Grogu loves the Mandalorian. They have that bond. You know, he knows it's there. And think about it, this is Master Luke. He knows he can feel it in the Force. He can feel Mando even though he didn't see him. He knows the connection they have even from when he picked Grogu up. So he knows where he naturally belongs. He wants to tell him to go, but he doesn't want to influence him.
Gotcha.
So that's why he gave him the choice to do it. But the selfish part of him absolutely wants him to stay, but he knows better. He
Very
knows that's not
interesting.
where his heart is.
Yeah, I think I agree with both of your assessments. I think there's a little bit of both. There's the yearning for Master Yoda and seeing that potential of Grogu, becoming a Jedi like Master Yoda. So I definitely see that, and I also see from your point that's a good analogy, that following of your heart. But we also know that Jedi shouldn't follow
That's what
their
makes
heart.
them different, though. Think about it.
Right,
Skywalker's
and it does
not
make
like
them
Jedi.
different. No, and it does. It does. So I think that's a very interesting take. I honestly can't add more to it because you both kind of hit it head on for me as far as like what I am thinking. If I'm Luke Skywalker. So with that, let's get back to the storyline of the main storyline. First of all, I thought it was really cool that they brought back Timothy Olyphant, or whatever the heck his name is. Timothy whatever, the guy who plays who had Boba Fett's costume. You know what I'm talking about, right? The guy from The Mandalorian.
Van
Yeah. I like his character. I thought it was really cool. But what I didn't like, the guy to the left of me, or the right, depending on your screen, I did not like what's his name? Boca Raton? What's the dude's name? Cad Kane or
Cad Bane.
Yeah, Cad Bane. That savage. I did not like how he did my boy. No. Now here's what I'm thinking. Okay, guys. First of all, I did not know anything about this intergalactic gangster Western alien until the first time I even met this character was yesterday. On the Mandalorian, on the Book of Boba Fett.
No, you got it right.
But here's the crazy part. Not only I think the character's badass looking, right, and the way he talks is like, But one of the things that I thought was pretty interesting about this character, and maybe I'm overthinking it, gentlemen, but here's what I think. First of all, I already knew that this guy was going to be a quick draw, right? So he kills the other guy. But here's the thing. He shot our boy from The Mandalorian. Kind of looks like he's dead, but maybe he isn't because they were tending to him. But you notice he went to the other guy and shot him like 4 or 5 times. You know what I'm saying? Because it's almost like you cheated, right? This was between me and him. But then he didn't go to finish off. He could have gone right up to him and go bing, bing, bing to make sure. So I don't know. Maybe he's alive still because I feel kind of messed up because he was distracted. You know what I mean? Because he was worried about the guy, and then he just gets shot up, but he didn't finish him off. So I'm wondering if that's the catalyst to get the group together to say, we're going to fight with you. You know what I'm saying? It could go either way. They could say, oh, he died, so we're going to fight with you. Or he's there alive. He says, we're going to do it. You know what I mean? So I don't know how that's going to pan out. I was kind of bummed out because I like the character. I thought the character is so cool. I think he's a badass character. I like him, What did you guys think about that? I mean, Spike, what did you think about how he went down? I love the way they opened it, the opening scene when they were stealing the spice, which, by the way, can somebody say, what was that, Dune, please? Can somebody say Dune, please? Oh, my God.
From the moment I saw Spice, I was like...
I'm like, come on, dude.
Before, I was like, oh, this all Dune.
Right. I was like, what?
Intergalactic Coke, bro.
Yeah, I guess so. Street level, right? Street grade. No, not even street grade. Like freaking pure Bahama grade, whatever. But anyway, what did you think about his character's arc? And I don't know, man. What did you think about the showdown?
I think that he was a dope character even in Mando. Everybody loved him. I did personally. It was cool to see him come back. See Mando talk to him, and I like the little aspects of it. I like that he didn't immediately go, "Yeah, Mando, let's do this, man," and all of that crap. Like he's like, "Yeah, that's not what we doing over here. I'm running this town. Everything.
We're good.
We changed the name.
We don't want to get involved.
I know you need a favor, but I'm not sure. I love that because that was more realistic. Now, as a person who's a fan of Westerns, primarily Clint Eastwood westerns, the showdown was amazing. When he saw him off in the distance and he immediately got that feeling something was off, when he sees Cat, I immediately got super excited. I thought that the showdown looked amazing. Seeing them sit there, stare down at each other.
Yes.
I wanted the deputy to die because he's hard-headed and freaking stupid, and that's what he should have got. It's like 18 shots in the nads.
Yeah, that was dumb,
but,
yeah.
you know, whatever. But I agree with you. It did raise an eyebrow for me because he caught him somewhere like in the shoulder region.
Right, and then you
when
noticed
he
they
went down.
were doing something to him, you know? Like it wasn't evident that he was dead. The other one,
And
he went for the kill shot with the other guy. He literally walked up to him and said, bang, bang, bang.
Well, think about it. He shot him center mass on purpose, and he's a quick draw. To me, he purposely didn't shoot Van this way. He wanted him to live, I think. I think he is going to live, and I feel like you said this is going to be the springboard to what's going on.
Yeah.
You know? And
I agree.
I think that they will absolutely have another showdown later on. Cad Bane was badass. I love it. I mentioned this to you guys.
Yeah, he was pretty
cool. If anybody
cool.
out there has ever seen that movie Ringo with Johnny Depp, it's an animated movie where he's like a little lizard. There's a Rattlesnake Jake is the bad guy in there. He's a rattlesnake that wears a stalker hat, and he's got a gun on his tail where his rattle should be. Cad Bane looks so much like him in this movie. I mean, you know, in the scenes, that it was really exciting for me. But even aside from that, I just thought they did a really good job with it. You know, like he just looked awesome.
I mean, this dude was badass.
Well together, and it was emotionally grabbing. You know what I'm saying? Grip, like it made you go, because you know, Van was a dope dude, man. You know, the Marshal, man, he was holding it down. He ain't scared of nothing. I love it with no armor.
Yeah. I mean, even Manny says Cad's a master shot in the cartoon, so obviously he knows him from the cartoon. So he's definitely let him live, is what he's saying. So because remember he only got one shot. Yeah, he got one shot, but he went for the other guy for the kill shot. Clearly, he did three shots. You know, after the first shot. So you know, but you know, I thought it was a cool character. First time introduced to this character. Apparently, he's been around for some time. But man, I was impressed with this character, and I thought he was badass. Again, very westerny feel. I don't know if it feels like Tatooine in that whole Western vibe. I don't know. It's a little off for me, but okay, I'm here for it, man. Whatever.
But no, I'm with you. And if anywhere in the galaxy would be this way, it would be Tatooine. Tatooine's like the Wild West, you know.
Well, that is true. That is true. So, let's remember the prequel. They were gambling. What did they say? Oh, what did old Ben Kenobi say? He said, "You will never find more ratchet villainy and scum of the planet." You know, whatever. You know, at Moss was it Moss Ellis, right?
Moss Isley.
Right, Moss Isley is what he said. You know, so
think about it too. That was the whole reason they wanted Luke there. That's the last place the Empire would look for because he wasn't safe. You know, it's a horrible place to raise a child. You know, so you know, I get it. So if anywhere is going to be like the Wild West, it would be Tatooine. So I'm good with it.
But I definitely appreciated this character. Tank, have this. Why don't you give us the last word on Mr. Cad Bane?
I don't know. Yeah, he was cool. Like I said, I didn't remember what's his name, Van. I didn't remember him from the It's been a while since I've seen the Mandalorian, so I didn't remember him from that until y'all just mentioned him. But you know, his character cool. Like, you know, a little opening scene where he was taking out syndicates without trying to steal the spice. Then, you know, let that one live, which was probably a mistake, obviously. That he let that one live. But no, like I said, I like the showdown too. I like how he sensed him, like he had the force in him as he was walking up to him. You know, so he has a badass look. You know, I definitely I agree that I don't think he's dead. You know, he got him just that one time. He'll be injured, but you know, come back to probably for another duel.
Yeah, I agree.
It's kind of the same thing I said before. Just, you know, he's working for the syndicate. Just wish they did more to build up the syndicate.
I agree, right? Because what an interesting character to just waste in the second to last episode for a matter of like maybe 2 or 3 minutes of screen time. Manny says that he was in the Bad Batch. You guys know this more than I, because I didn't finish all of the Bad Batch. Do you guys even?
I
you guys did.
We thought okay.
We were doing a lot during that time.
Yeah, we were doing too much. We were doing too much.
Bad Bad Batch fell by the wayside. I liked it though. It was good. I just hadn't got back to it.
That's a commitment. That's a commitment. It was like 22 episodes.
Yeah, the first episode was good. Then it's like it was up and down, mostly downs, but it was like super slow for a while. Then we just stopped.
Well, apparently, Kat is in the in that show, but again,
I'll never find out.
Great episode with and this character. Here's what I think about this episode too. Talk about savagery. This guy shooting off the cops, right? But what about the scene? Very Godfather-ish. Our girl from Flashdance got blown the heck up. Whoa, man! I did not expect that. What did you guys think of that scene? I mean, Tank, let me just throw it back to you. What did you think of that scene, man? That was kind of savage, man. That was really savage. And it made it even comical when you had the droid kind of going, oh, you forgot your bag. Bang! What did you think of that episode, of that scene?
Yeah, it was dope. I mean, I was like, it sucks for her and all the one in there. I mean, they'll probably come, say like, she survived it somehow. I'm guessing,
I don't know, man. That didn't look pretty. That did not look survivable.
It didn't look it, but it didn't look survivable. But you know how these shows and movies do. She somehow, probably some big alien jumped on top of her to protect her or something. Yeah. But obviously they did it because because they know Mandalorian. Actually, he promised that he would protect them.
Yeah, that was pretty. Not the Mandalorian, but Boba Fett.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I've seen him more than I've seen him than Boba Fett. These last 2 episodes.
You're like, wait, Mandalorian. They both got a helmet on. Well, this whatever. Tomato. Hey, Collector's Edition. Danny is joining. He said, "Oh snap! Didn't know you were on." Hey, Danny, it's all about this Boba Fett, or we call it Mandalorian 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, whatever you want to call it, episodes. But yeah, it was. I thought that scene was pretty gangster.
And hopefully it'll make Boba Fett finally go savage.
Yeah, I mean, something's going to have to give. And unfortunately, we don't have much time. We only have 1 episode. And if it's only like 40 minutes long, that's not a lot of time to cover the entire, severity of what has transpired in the episodes prior. So
probably longer. They probably made this one.
I hope so.
It'll be about an hour, but
listen. I hope so. They're gonna need it. They're gonna need an hour. They're gonna need an hour. So Spike, what did you think with our girl from Flashdance getting her her club blown up?
First of all, you mentioned that Boba was co-founded. The shows that Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau clearly are fans of The Godfather because they had the meetings at the table with the heads of the 5 families, if you want to call it, the little criminal syndicate or whatever. They have the bombs in the bar. I thought that was dirty, man. Nobody wants to see the pretty girl go down, man.
I mean, that the whole way.
Blow her up, dude. That was the spit in Boba's face for real.
Yeah, she was being mutual. That was being mutual. I don't know if they did it they were trying to send a message, but I mean,
absolutely. Think about it. That little cantina is centralized in that town. Everybody goes there. That's the main spot of their whole little city area there. So to blow that up, it's like going to, the mayor's mansion or something.
Yeah, I felt bad. Yeah, I felt.
Point, and I didn't. Want
I felt bad.
That was bad. That was really bad. I've never seen the Power Rangers get blown up.
Hey, Danny says, you guys talking about the Diary of Din Djarin?
Exactly.
That's really what it is. Exactly. You're right. It really should have probably been called that, right? It should the Book of the Diary of Din Djarin or something like that. But Manny says this was the official beginning of the war. But Manny, we only got 1 more episode, so it ain't gonna be much of a war. Especially when you still have to resolve the Luke Skywalker Grogu situation, and then on top of that, you have the other things you want to address as well.
Think about it. That's what we've been talking about for all of these episodes. If this starts the war, and you wanted to reflect, we should have saw this in episode 1 or 2.
Facts.
And then you could have gave a little bit of filler in the middle. You strung us along for 4 episodes of just straight trash.
Right. Unless here's a theory. Manny says they like to leave us hanging. Oh yeah, that's true. But what if, just like they announced the Book of Fett, we get at the end of the Book of Boba Fett, The Mandalorian coming next week. You know what I mean? Like in the new season, and then it goes right there.
Let me tell you something. I don't mind a cliffhanger for Ahsoka. I don't mind a cliffhanger for Grogu. If Mando's coming, I don't mind it. I'm all in. If this is a cliffhanger for a season 2 of Boba, unless this is something we absolutely have to do, I don't care.
Y'all can review that without me.
I don't care because I feel like well,
I said, we know how you feel about Star Wars.
Well, let me take that back. Let's
not forget what you said.
I don't want to just keep eating crow here. Okay, let me take a step back because I do believe that because they started this, I don't think they had enough time to thoroughly do this show. They took the money because you don't turn it down from Disney. They threw their best at it. They pulled 2 Mando episodes, this nice little filler with some writer to kind of hobble their way through the first season.
Yeah, I agree.
If they can get renewed for a season 2, it'll probably be way better. A lot more thought out, a lot more put together for us. It's just,
I mean, you got Boba Fett. You don't do a one and done with Boba Fett. I'm sorry.
That's what I'm saying. So
I don't care how bad it is. You don't do a one and done.
I'll pull back, and I would go to see season 2 just to see if that was the case. Because all of this, like I said, we've been saying the whole time, it feels very drawn out, unnecessary content, and very just kind of erratic all over the place.
I agree.
Things. And then here we are towards the end, and you're getting this buildup where they're kind of like, yeah, we didn't want to lose people in the middle because you don't want these high episodes at the beginning, I guess, and then give us all that crap in the middle, and nobody wants to see the finale, so they just waited to give us all of this at the end. But it definitely, to your point, Clark, I don't see how they have a culmination, like where they close everything out in this one episode. There's got to be some kind of cliffhanger because I can't see how they're going to do that.
Totally agree. Totally agree with you. Let me just say this. Before we do our usual fandom review and we do our collective reviews from A to F, or A, B, whatever the hell we do. I don't know. It's from F to A, B, C, D. Yeah. We don't use E, though. That's the thing. It's not A to F, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah. We use the grade school mentality over in these parts, okay? Here's the thing. I got to ask you two, gentlemen. Do you think that the finale, and don't say what your grade is going to be on the overall series, will change the trajectory of how you felt about this entire series?
No.
Oh, okay.
And that was
alrighty. And that was a collective no. No for this and no for that. Boys, I agree with you there. I will say to you that, unfortunately, I cannot give episode 5 even a connection with the Book of Boba Fett. And even for this episode 6, it was great. But even then, it wasn't really completely about Boba Fett, but there was some elements there. So I don't even think that, like, unless this finale blows my freaking socks off, that it was just so spectacular, and Boba Fett is like going into space with his rocket and doing all kinds of crazy shit, maybe I don't know, but I'm gonna be hard pressed. So let's go. Episode 5. What was your review of that episode? I should not even say the Book of Boba Fett, but I will say officially it was the Book of Boba Fett. But if you're just judging the episode, what say you, Spike? What was your grade?
On just the episode, I can't grade it for a Boba Fett. Just a Mando good Star Wars episode, I got it a solid B.
Okay, fair enough.
It was
absolutely
very good.
Awesome. What say you, Tank?
Yeah, so like same thing, good episode of Mandalorian season 3, episode 0. Like I said, I'll give B plus. I was at B plus. Dope seeing it with the saber, seeing them struggle, with it. Trying to also learn how to use it. So B plus.
I liked it. It was just a little bit more than you, gentlemen. I give it an A minus. I thought there was some issues because we're in a show about the Book of Boba Fett, and then we're going towards a whole different avenue. However, I will say I was thoroughly pleased, and I enjoyed. The highlight for me was the Darksaber, battle in the butcher shop is what I like to call it in the beginning. And then, of course, the battle on the scaffolding. I thought that was pretty cool as well. And then, of course, that journey there with the Starfighter and everything. Obviously, I had some concerns with the whole, X-Wing fighters pulling them over. I had issues there. But I gave it A- because I just think Pedro Pascal can be behind the mask and maybe he's not even in there. Maybe it's a stunt double. But, man, does he convey who the Mandalorian is with just his freaking voice. Period. He's amazing. So that's why he gets an A- for me. So with that, episode 6, I will go first, and then you guys can close me out. I will say I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. I thought it had a little bit of everything for everyone. I don't necessarily think it was a Book of Boba Fett episode, but there were elements that moved the storyline to a conclusion in the finale for next week. I will give this one an A because, man, was it sure cool to see R2-D2 again and Luke Skywalker. What say you, Tank?
All right, definitely gonna get hate from you.
I'm not surprised.
I'm gonna give it a C.
Ugh. I know the nostalgia does not, go
because it's like you said, it's not really a Boba Fett episode. It's two parts that don't match together at all, in any inkling.
Well, it matches together because Mandalorian is going to look for Grogu to deliver that gift to Grogu, and Grogu has to make a choice. So I feel like they are connected there. But I do agree with you that it has nothing to do with the Book of Boba Fett.
No, I'm saying the two parts, like the first half and the second half of this episode, had nothing to do with each other at all. Mm. Yeah, the first part where it was 30 minutes mostly of Luke teaching Grogu. Then you had the old, the second half with this old Western battle. And then the explosion at the club. Like I said, the first part, yes, for people like you guys who completely love Star Wars, it was a great nostalgia. For me, who kind of like Star Wars, it was cool to see.
Effects are dated. Yep.
It has been 6 freaking months.
But still, listen. But everybody needs to understand in context that this is the same Tank that said that Empire Strikes Back. He didn't even call it effects. He said the graphics, Mr. Aristocrat over here. The graphics don't hold up. This is the same host that said that. So listen. You got to own what you said.
By my statement.
Okay, well you can. You can. You do. I get it. I get it. Academy Award-winning special effects. I get it. I totally get it. Spike, what was your review?
I didn't even give my score yet.
Oh, you didn't get it? Yes, you did. You said C. You said C. You said C, right?
Yeah, but I still wasn't done. You just cut me off.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right. You know what? I apologize. My bad. Please.
Spike, you go ahead. I'm good.
No. Just finish it up. But, I mean, I know you said that they both didn't match, but was there anything?
I'm saying like, they like the first part, is good for the nostalgia, but it was too much. Like, it was 30 minutes of this episode. Then they go into the second half while it was good,
you felt like it was two different shows.
Yeah, and we had not.
I can respect that.
If we'd been building up to this before in Mandalorian, so all the stupid backstories that didn't add up now, that didn't matter, it would have been better. If they wanted to build this, show this part, this part with Luke and Grogu to whatever the plan is, that whatever next show for this. They could have it's Disney Plus. They could have did a whole another 3-4 episode miniseries of those two training. We didn't need to take 30 minutes of Boba Fett where we haven't built up a whole story that could have been really great in this episode.
Okay, I mean, listen, I respect that your assessment of it because that has some merit. Others of us thought that it continued on from the storyline of The Mandalorian, which maybe it wasn't in the right place to put it in the Book of Boba Fett. But then we could also, before I hand it over to Spike, you could look at it like this. the Book of Boba Fett, stories of different things that are happening during his time
Without Boba Fett.
Well, but it's the Book of Boba Fett. I'm just saying maybe that we need to literally take the title at its word. The book.
These are different
of
chapters. Is what you're saying.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. You hit it. You hit it right there.
That could work if you frame it that way. Just call them chapters.
Well, I agree. They didn't frame it that way.
And like you said, if you frame it that way, we wouldn't be that lost into.
Well, I agree.
I'll put it this way for Tank. I get it. Tank falls in that box with some of the people who they got lost with all of this dragging.
Yes.
If we didn't have that dragging in the beginning for those first 4 episodes, I don't think this one would have bothered him as much.
Oh, I agree.
But he's weary. I get it.
Right. Well, he's weary. He doesn't have patience for it, and I understand the reason why there is not that nostalgia. I mean, he said it himself. So I get that, and there is a lot of nostalgia. I said it. It's like candy. It's like having your favorite dessert. It's going down nice. You're feeling happy. You're remembering things when you were a kid. I get it. Now that said, what was your rating?
My rating, I'm giving it a D. And no, I'm kidding.
I knew that was bullshit.
This episode is another solid B for me.
Okay.
The only drawback from them, it's not that they were bad, either one. I'm just being a little bit more harsh because of the fact that they aren't Boba Fett, or per se. But to your point, which I wish I had thought of this earlier, if it looks like in the Book of Boba Fett as a chapter, from that perspective, I kind of get it. Still a solid B. Love the nostalgia. Love the fillers for letting me know where Grogu is, what's going on with Luke. That was a nice touch to bring him back. Ahsoka was very nice. I like the gangster aspect of it. I think we should have been seeing this a lot sooner to kind of get an idea of how deadly the Pikes really are. Because we wasted time with the Hutts, So that, for me, I love that. I love the bomb and the explosion, even though it was dirty and it hurt me to see Flashdance go. It was necessary, absolutely necessary. So
yeah,
I'm giving it a solid B. I thought it was a good episode. Like I said, it doesn't belong to Boba per se, but it was nice to see. Absolutely.
All right, fair enough. The chat room obviously is behind, Tank on this. It says, so harsh, man. Obviously, Tank he's a big guy. He's bigger than the Hulk here, okay? We've been going back and forth with this Empire Strike. If you would go back to our Star Wars review.
6 to 7 months, people.
Yeah, well, everybody knows
months.
If I would just take this opportunity to
Spike
revisit.
When I said
I know. That is true. That is true.
I was here. No,
that is true.
Here.
No, you were right.
That day.
Yeah, you were. Yeah.
That was so funny.
So you gotta revisit, Manny, that show where Tank said those fateful words about the graphics.
You're right.
No,
were you not on
it? I was in the chat. You're right. I was in the chat that day.
Right, because I believe you did say Spike that it was blasphemous. It was blasphemous.
Your brother.
Right. You did say that.
I almost disowned you. You absolutely
right. And I mean, I think
stand by my words.
I think the problem is that he said it so cold. If you guys go back in it and listen to it, he says it so matter of factly. He goes, well, the graphics are dated. And I was like, whoa.
He said they don't hold up.
Right. They don't hold up.
They don't hold up.
And then he called it graphics. And I was like, this mother flesher. He said the graphics don't hold up.
Listen, first of all, for those that don't know, Tank is our resident pot stirrer. Okay? This is truly how he feels, but he has absolutely no problem stirring the pot and watching it boil over. So he felt that way. He said it, and Danny lost it. Clark lost it.
We all did. Even Danny. Well, listen, Danny was on the episode too. Danny said it himself. He was like, "Well, what are you talking about? Let's dive deep into it." And then he said, "You know what he did? This is the thing too. He said it so smugly. He said, I said what I said. I had my turn." I was like, "All right, jeez, man, you could have at least let us." He said, "I said what I said." I was like, "Okay, all right, fine." But anyway,
sir.
Yeah, good day to you, sir. No, but I thought it's something that we always go back on. We got it's all love, but I gotta bust his chops because I am so shocked.
This is why I dread talking about Star Wars every time.
Yeah, I was so shocked at when he would say that. But anyway, listen, I want to say first of all, Great episode, gentlemen. I thought we covered a lot of ground with the 2 episodes. I'm looking forward to the finale and covering that next week. I want to say to everyone that was in the chat room, Manny, Danny, Cliff Bravo, Dave, all of the folks that were listening today or will be listening, thank you for tuning in. Please, 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 what I would say to you is tell people about the House of Fandom. We are your one-stop shop of entertaining news, entertaining reviews on everything in the fandom world. We cover so much of it, and we like doing it. We enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? We enjoy it. And so we hope that you enjoyed the ride as well. Cliff Bravo, thank you so much as well. We appreciate the love. But we want to make sure that you tell everyone about the House of Fandom and tell them to hit that like button and tell them to subscribe. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. And you can get some really cool content from guys that just love fandom, movies, pop culture, you name it. We love it. And I think that is what makes this show so fun for all of us to, talk about week over week over week. Now, with that said, I want to also say thank you for us hitting 350 subscribers, man. That has been a long time coming, and it's been coming really fast and furious in the last few months. So I want to say for the folks that have given us a chance to enlist into the House of Fandom and subscribe, thank you so much. We appreciate you, and we're just going to continue doing what we can to make it fun every week when we show up. Even when we don't show up, we've got a lot of exciting things that we cover on our TikTok page, House of Fandom 1, TikTok, over 7,000 followers, and over 2 million views. I'm telling you, it's crazy over there. Anyway, the House of Fandom will return next week. Here's what we got going on. We are going to wrap up the Mandalorian, the Book of Boba Fett. But boy, do we got some really cool things to start off with, because we've been watching The Peacemaker, and if you haven't already, you need to watch The Peacemaker. And here's where I eat crow, because I already know that Tank is going to start talking junk at me, okay? I have not been shy at saying how much I hated the Suicide Squad with James Gunn directing, the most recent one. And I have not been very complimentary about The Peacemaker either. So what will Clark say about The Peacemaker show? You got to find out next week when we start reviewing the episodes 1 and 2 of The Peacemaker, or maybe 1. It depends on how far we go. But man, that's going to be an interesting one. So Tank, before we go off this topic and close up the show, you have any comments on that? Any little tidbit there that you want to throw?
I'll save it for Peacemaker.
Okay, very good.
I'll save it for that.
All right.
Gotta write my talking points down.
Hey, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. Congratulations to Tank. Here you got a promotion at your job. I just want to let everybody know that our boy Tank is making moves in his full-time job, and it's always great to see a friend do successful things. So just want to let you know that on behalf of the House of Fandom.
Thank you,
without a doubt. Shout out to my brother David, because he says I never shout out to him when we're on the show. And Spike, you got any shout outs that you want to throw before we close out the episode?
Yeah, I appreciate everybody for listening and tuning in. 313 Juice 313 Gaming usually comes in all the time. Want to send much love out to him. Bang bros. Also want to tell everybody we really appreciate you. Please like, share, and subscribe. We're starting out a new raffle coming out, man. So all of you subscribers out here, Tank's going to take off one of his shirts, man.
Oh,
autograph it, and we're going to send it out to you. He's the resident
that's
sex
cool.
symbol.
That's pretty cool.
Resident sex symbol.
It might be a
shirts.
Yeah, it might be a Deadpool shirt even that he autographs potentially, because he loves Deadpool.
And listen, we're going to get that out to you out here, man. So you got some nice memorabilia from the House of Fandom, from
Absolutely.
our resident sex symbol here.
And for those of you that are concerned,
a lot of stuff going, baby.
if you're concerned it won't fit you, you could always use it as a throw blanket. And, there you go. Because, he's a big guy with lots of muscles. Anyway, listen, guys, thank you so much. You got anything else for us, Mike?
No, that's it, baby. We all built for comfort in the house of fandom. We love
Absolutely. We love it. We love it.
It's your house, baby.
That's right. Anybody is welcome to the house of fandom. Before we go, Tank, we're going to let some beats flow as we close out the show. And who are those beats from?
The beats are from my brother from another mother, Joel Torres, a.k.a. Steel Frame Music.
Hey, Steel Frame Joel, shout out to you, man. You're gonna have to get us some more music, bro. We're burning through the music, so you might have to go back into the studio, brother. Anyway, this is on behalf of the host. My name is Clark. Have a great evening, great day wherever you're at, and this was another episode of the House of Fandom. Y'all take care now.